I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I don't want to say, get it? Because broken records, they like skip and loop and repeat. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I don't want, I'm not going to keep, but, I almost wasn't going to record a podcast again. I wasn't feeling good. I just wasn't, it's my time of the month, isn't it? I'm in my moons. Shows my bum often. I wasn't feeling it, and then I had a poop, and it was a really, really good poop, like where it feels, you can almost literally feel your body emptying. It wasn't like a huge, like gargantuan poop. It was just, just a good one. Where I felt flushed out afterwards. And then I felt much better, and I thought, oh cool, let's go. Let's get a podcast recorded. Let's fucking do this shit, man. We're going to start off. Whoa! Issue 9 of The Incredible Hulk by Nick Klein, you fucking bitch! I only say fucking bitch because it's another guest artist issue, which I wasn't... Yeah, I'm not keen. It's a different guest artist to the previous guest artist who did 2 issues. And I've got to say, I quite like the artwork. It's not my favourite, but I as far as guest artists go on a series, I'm really enjoying the actual artist of. I think it's pretty good. The cover, brilliant cover. Really fucking solid cover. Really good composition. Just person in the foreground with their arm here, and then the 2 characters in the background. The colours, the darker colours, and then the warm orange, like the orange and the blue thing. And then within the silhouette of this character in front, all these fucking zombies or whatever. And the stance with the axe is really good and strong, and it's slightly tilted. Like, it's not like this, like, 45 degree or whatever. Is that 45? Yeah, that's 90, 40. Yeah. But it's just slightly, like, the doorway isn't just rectangular, straight, perpendicular to the pages of the thing. The cover, the edges of the cover. But it's slightly askew. I really like that. And again, Nick Klein's sort of painted, hand washed, coloured drawing. Really good. Really good cover. Really good. The thing on this side instead of that side is a bit weird, isn't it? But fuck ass, whatever. You do what you fucking want to do, innit? You're a comic. You fucking do how you fucking want to do it. You piece of shit. Fuck you in the asshole. Oh my god, she got sliced to pieces. What the fuck? Her head's... Well, that's pretty brutal, actually, for a Marvel comic, especially. Walking down the alley, sees some fucking old woman sweeping up, and she's like, ooh. Very Sin City, innit? With the eyes, like the cannibal. The Elijah Wood plays him in the film Cannibal with the eyes and the... Not that other people haven't drawn shit like that all the time, but all the time, often, sometimes. Look, texture, brickwork texture, like plaster coming off the walls texture, paving, cobbles texture, just random street markings, not even street markings, but just like grime on the street texture. Boxes and papers, we like that garbage. There's actual like texture going on. There's a cat, he drew a cat, I like that. Stuff going on in the antiques shop. Weird puppets, marionettes, and masks. That's a mask that's based on there's masks from the other issues of the comic. So that's probably got something to do with the woman being fucked. I mean, not literally being fucked. Yeah, good drawings of buildings with like, decrepit plaster and bottles and cans and stuff in the corner. Really good texture. A couple of pages in, so... more cats. I like the cats. It's good. Good details. Crick, claw hand. Fucking tore this bitch to pieces. Rats, cans. That's all I would look at. It's just like rats, cans, grass in the... Like where grass... I did a whole project about that at college. Of like urban spaces, like grey-brown urban spaces with shocks of green plants, moss and shit growing in them. It was, cool and deep for a fucking 17-year-old. But that's all I want to look at. The posters on the walls and shit, and the cracks and the marks. The texture, the shit that really gives it a feeling. Her getting chopped to pieces is pretty fucking cool too. But there's been other guest artists that made me look at the work and say the exact opposite. So I appreciate the ones that do it well. Cool trees, cool like effects, and they almost look like a digital blur effect. I'm not quite sure if it's just like a really light ink wash, like a wet on wet wash for these like tree things. I don't know. Good panels, good tone, good drawings. The drawings are almost like Nick Klein's, but simpler, kind of. Oh, he's got a shaky hand. Ooh. Oh, shaky hand, shaky hand. I didn't think I was congested or anything, but you'll have to excuse me if I go all sniffly snoffily. Oh god, he's coming out. He's literally the Hulk's fingers coming out his mouth. He's climbing out of his mouth. Good. Not as, it's not like Nick Klein level, but good sort of, this especially, I like this, his arm mutating into the Hulk arm. I like the on the level, ground level drawing there. Oh, he's mutating. Oh, snap. I like that it is literally almost like how animals shed their skins or their outer layers, their shells, their exoskeletons and things, crabs and lobsters. It's more than transforming into the Hulk. He's shedding, Bruce Banner is shedding his human form. So his ribs are fucking snapping and peeling away to let the Hulk burst out. Oh, and she's got fucking wings. What the fuck? She's like a harpy thing. What the fuck? That's a really good drawing, but it's just too like neat and proper. Like I want my Green Goblin to look fucking nasty and good. He just looks like a happy little chap, and he's like, the rendering's all sort of neat and tidy. Spider-Man looks very sort of like a person in a costume. I want them to look like fucking aliens and monsters and shit. Just people hanging out. Skull. It's a good skull. In the antique store. Oh dear. Is he the policeman? Is he a policeman? He's some guy. I like his character design. He looks really sort of like schlubby. Not too professional. His clothes don't necessarily fit properly. Good details and shit in the character designs on this. And he's in the antique store, and then she closes up with those evil eyes. I think you've got to give props to the colorist here. Who is that? By the way. Let me see. Matthew Wilson colouring. Because the inking is cool where it like fades away into this mist, but the wrong colouring could fuck that up. But that looks really, really good. The blue, grey blue tones at least, contrasting with the green and browns. Not really contrasting, they blend in, but they contrast in. You get it. Fuck it, it's alright. Shut up. Tables with things on them. That makes me. I have wanted to for a while actually to do more with my series of tables with things on them illustrations that I did for more like my dungeon drawings. We get like an alchemist's table with like bottles and shit on it, and then a study table full of books and papers and candles, and then like a surgery operation table with operation tools and blood and rags and shit on it. I love it. It's just fun to draw in the same way I like drawing like floors with just stuff on them and all the texture you see and stuff like this. I like drawing tables and shells with shit on them. It's fun to draw, just little things, you know. And it's good. It's a good example of that. Splip splop. Oh no. Huh? Help me. Oh please God, help. Oh shit. She walks in, there's this table with like guts under the table and bones and shit. This little red thing, totem, this little figurine, she picks it up. It's a little person, it's saying, help me, oh please God, help me. She tosses it away. Fuck you, I ain't helping shit. Help me, I'm important here, you fuck. And then the old lady comes back, and that's actually really creepy. That's a really, really well drawn, creepy image drawing drawn. I like that a lot. Alongside all my little angels. I like that her body's sort of like off balance, like her skirt goes up and then just like stops. Like her body is like gone like a broken bone. And then her creepy long arms palming the security guard's head like a basketball, like an NBA basketball player. So props to her for that. Really creepy, like face hanging down kind of, but not. And good use of like shadow kind of fading with the rim lighting behind her. And then again, the angle's good. The mist is good. Stopping the inks to allow for the mist with the colorist to put that in. And that's that. Really, really cool. You know, I hope that next issue is back to Nick Klein, but whatever. I assume that's the cover. Really, really good cover. I love his Hulk. It really reminds me of like the Street Shark toys. Big, chunky, fat, chunky plastic solid toys. I get that feeling from Nick Klein's Hulk. I mean, a lot of people draw like Hulk like that, but it's got a good feeling, a really good solidity to it with his shading and his use of inking and stuff. He does it really, 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 really well. And yeah, good issue. I didn't actually look up the guy's name, did I? Danny Earls. Let's look him up. Let's get off my black women with big tits porn. It is Black History Month after all. As I'm recording this, it's towards the end of it, but you know, show the respect where you can. Was it Danny? Danny Earls art. Danny Earls 16 on Instagram. Maybe I'll give him a follow. Comic book art. Batman, Daredevil. It looks like he uses a lot of ink washes in some of his stuff. Some Sin City artwork. Yeah, it's a similar thing to when if you look up like tattoo artists on Instagram or whatever, and you look down their page and it's just body parts with tattoos, and it just becomes like a big mess of just like the same photo again and again, almost. And that can happen when you look up a lot of comic book artists. If you look up all of like a large portion of their work in one place, it's just like black and white comic book artwork and a lot of it. And you know, I tried to keep mine a bit different at least. I just, you know, purple and pink ballpoint drawings, little green goblins running around with their penises out, and black and white comic book work and paintings and painted comic book, all kinds of shit. You know, I try to keep it lively, keep it a bit different, a bit of character to it. And it's boring shit like fucking Danny Earls, Mr. Not Nick Klein in the Incredible Hulk series. All right, so the next one I'm going to look at. That's all we're doing today. We're looking at shit. Well, not all. We'll see. A few people have said, "Oh, you should look at this." I don't know why I do it in a mocking tone. I have no reason to do it in such a like, "Oh, you should look at this. I think you really enjoy it." There's no need for me to use that tone at all. Fuck it, I'll do it anyway. "Oh, Ewan, you should look at this. I think you'd really like it. The artwork's really, 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 really good. I think I know you don't like this kind of thing normally, but I think if you check this out, you'd really like it because the artwork's really, really good." And there's one person in particular that was basically begging me to look at it. I won't name them for a couple of reasons. For one, you know, I don't want to put them on blast or whatever, but at the same time, I don't want to give them a platform and maybe they'll think like, "Oh, he said my name, aren't I special?" No, you're not. You're a piece of shit. Fuck you. Look at this. Ewan, you've got to look at this. Look at this, Ewan. You really like it, Ewan. Ewan, you've got to see this. I think you'd really like it, Ewan. So I'm looking at Berserk. This is the smaller edition. That person who will not be named, you know who you are, you fuck. I like the person enough. I like him enough. We're not close, but you know. All right. They were telling me how there are available larger publications of this that show the artwork better. See, we're looking at this for the first time together. It's brand new. Taking its clothes off. Oh, let's get it fucking naked. Why can't I do this? And I saw those volumes in the shop. Large, big hardback, bigger print volumes. But they're expensive. I was like, I could get one. I could just about afford one, but then it's like, I might not even like it. Apparently I will. Everyone's told me I should look at it because it's the most amazing thing ever. Also, I don't know if book one is necessarily the best place to start, because the artwork for these sorts of things tends to get better later on. Which just makes sense, because you start out just drawing the comic, but then as you get into it, you really sort of get the artwork going and stuff. But, you know, I'm looking at it, so shut up about me looking at Berserk. I think you'd really like it. You look at Berserk, it's really, really good. Oh, it starts off with a sex scene. That's cool, isn't it? Black swordsman. I think that's African American swordsman, actually. Is that joke a bit tired? I think it is. And unnecessary. I did just talk about black women with big tits, which is probably fairly derogatory just to say in itself, isn't it? But it does say parental advisory. I think on the plastic it said 18 plus. She turns into a demon. Holy fuck! This is a lot of pages. I'm not going to talk about every single one of them. I mean, straight away, this seems like the sort of thing that would be better to look at a bigger size. I'm just worried about looking through it and being like, okay, yeah, it's a manga. Is that what do they call it? Manga? A manga? A manga? Manga? Magna? Moagna? Oh, shut up. Fucking shut up. Well, there's one of those moments. I was talking with someone recently about, do you ever just tell yourself to shut the fuck up? And I said, quite often on the podcast that will happen. There's been times where I've recorded entire podcasts and at the end gone, shut the fuck up, and then deleted the podcast because I realised I was just not shutting the fuck up for the entire thing. Shot me through the nose! That's pretty impressive, isn't it? That's a good panel. I like that. Good use of like shadow silhouette within the silhouette, so fading the silhouette out and then putting another silhouette in there with an eye and a thing and having it all sort of grey toned out and shit. It's pretty cool. But yeah, there was another one of those moments just then where I just don't shut the fuck up. That's cool. Chopped a guy in half. Chopped the fucking guy in half. Got that blood and shit. That's a really nice looking blood and shit. Not the best I've ever seen, but it's pretty dope. His sword fucking bashing into the floor. He looks calm as fart, doesn't he? He's doing alright. That arm could be a bit longer, but it's alright. I say that just because I draw my arms too long, probably. But, again, it's several pages into book one. I'm not going to... So, this should be better, this should be better, oh, it's not good. It's Berserk. It's one of the most popular fucking manga series out there. As far as I'm aware. I don't know much of it or much about it, but as far as I know, it's one of the most popular ones. That's cool. We like a nice full-body character piece. I like to do those now and then. Death Fist, you know, that sort of thing. Oh, he's strung up like a prick. Some old guy. As mentioned, I think, you know, I just want to see if it does get better. Not that it's bad, it's good already, but it's good at the moment. It's good in the way that, like, well, yeah, it's a professionally produced manga book. Like, it's going to be good, like well drawn enough, adequate at least. But yeah, if I want to look at like the best artwork from Berserk, book one probably isn't the one to go for. There's a naked little person. I don't know what they are, but they're naked. Oh, a little fairy, I guess. A little naked fairy. I'd do this. I don't know. I'd also try to put my penis in it, but we won't talk about it. Oh no, my chest is burning. Oh no. Dunk. That's pretty funny. Flies up into his chin. Boom. Oh, you little bitch. Pull your fucking head off like a Barbie doll. Horses. Oh. That's pretty cool. Pretty decent, like, Spread. That's a good spread. Horsemen. Fucking evil knights or whatever. Decent drawings of horses and men on the horses. And then all the dead bodies. And the dead bodies acting as a barrier between like this panel and this zoomed in panel of these knights with the wild eyes behind their helmets. That's decent. That's really, really cool. For me, it's too like calmly drawn. Like the line work is almost too perfect and it's too tidy. It feels like it should be more like, not to say it should be more like Simon Bisley, but like more just fucking extreme and more violent looking. But I don't know what I'm talking about. Then you get points like this where they've got a fucking what looks like a child on the end of a halberd skewered and drinking its blood. So they've got their violence in there, and that's really cool as well. Horses. Anytime you draw horses, you're going to have a rough time getting through it. The detail on the mechanical like crossbow thing he's got on his wrist is cool. Not easy to do that. This guy got one in the eye. Fuck him and his stupid eyeballs. I like the dark tone of this bad guy with his fucking cobra hat or whatever. Whoa. A lot going on. You've got like these panels here just showing things happening and people talking. He's reloading his crossbow. And then you've got the bad guy on his horse skipping up or whatever. I don't know what the word is, jumping kind of. And then a burning city in the background with, is his name Guts or this guy, the protagonist of Berserk here, and dead bodies and shit. There's a lot going on. It's impressive. And he draws it this big, I can't believe I mean, I assume it's like big drawings. Because obviously that's how things work. Whoa. That's one of those things that's like, so I guess there's like a giant snake tail that's come out of somewhere, bashed through this archway, and then it's caught him, smacked him, and is swinging with him like hanging off of it. That's the sort of thing that like you think in your head, okay, yeah, a giant snake tail bashes through this archway and he's like caught on it as it's swinging through, and then you try and draw it and you realise like, oh fuck, I don't know how the fuck do I draw that? And you're sort of trying to think like, what angle does it work best from? Do I do it from like a far out or close or underneath, or like do I draw it? That's the kind of thing that you think, cool, yeah, action, and the second you start trying to draw it, you realise you don't have a fucking clue how to draw a scene like that. That's cool. I like that. Is that the guy turning into the thing? Is that what happened? He gets bashed into the wall. Did he get shot with a lot of... Yeah, he's got all the like crossbow bolts in him, in his face, in his chest, and he's all like, oh fuck. He falls back into... falls through a door. Back into a doorway. And then this tail comes out, and then you're like, what's going on? You see eyes in the darkness. And obviously it's read right to left. I'm aware of that. That's how manga works. A mere human like you can't possibly kill me. It's really funny. I didn't notice until just now. That's cool. A big snake demon monster thing. That's really, really cool. Love the design. Love the drawing. The drawing those scales, I'd hate that. I'd hate that so much. I'd hate myself for coming up with the design, because of knowing every time I draw it, I have to draw, or at least imply, all of the scales. Like that texture you have to do. It looks like he's inked most of it and then put a tone down with like that tone paper that you put on it that you can see through, and then you scratch bits of it off to get the whiteness. You can see he's scratched with like a razor blade or something to get the highlights on the scales and stuff. And to do that like every time he appears on the page, That's really, really cool. But he's still got his like human face in his mouth, which is a bit funny to me, especially with the tongue coming out of his mouth. There's something quite amusing about that, and clearly on purpose, vaginal penis, H.R. Geiger type inspired shit. Really, really cool. Love this though. That's really nice, and I like it from far away. It's a funny shape. I like its funny shape. Yeah, every time you could draw those fucking scales, or at least, yeah, like I say, imply the texture of the scales if you're not drawing every one of them. It's a lot. It's a lot to do. Oh, he blew his face apart. His human eye coming out, the snake eye blasting away. Oh, and he chops him in half with his giant sword. Yeah, that's cool. Good. Angry shot at the face and his mad eye. The more white you show around the pupil, the crazier and more mad the person's going to look. There's a tip for you. Just the tip. Penis. Oh, he's beaten and bloodied, but he's victorious. He killed the unkillable Snake Man. Final Fantasy for the thing. The brand. Unsure of how these are done. They look like paintings, but at the same time they kind of look like pencil drawings, and that might just be an issue with the contrast in the printing as opposed to the black and white medium or whatever. So I'd be interested to know, not that interested, but you know, if I knew then I'd know. Oh, it's a water droplet. I thought it was a nipple. It looks like a nipple, but it's a water droplet. I like monsters and aliens and weird demons and shit. That'll be relevant to something I'm going to look at in a second. Skeletons coming out of the mist in the forest. That's cool. Chopping them up. But there's so many of them, you can't possibly defeat them all. And there's some bird with a man's severed head. Anime evil girl thing. Trope. Yeah, it's kind of cool, I guess. I think it would be cool to get one of the... it's cool that he's got like... what they look like hand-painted pages. Maybe they were done in full colour, but like black and white, you can only see them in black and white. Yeah, it would be cool to see one of the bigger volumes, but like a specific one that has specific really cool artwork in. If any particular person that's been on at me to look at this could advise, if you look at this volume of the larger print books, it's got some of the best artwork in it, then yeah, I'd probably at least attempt to get hold of one and look at it. That's cool. We always like some head squishing. I've been tempted actually to put together a little mini compilation of like instances where that's been a thing, because there's a few. I know one is Hard Boiled, that happens where a guy gets his head squished and ripped apart. I think the Matrix comics have something similar to that, or the Animatrix, and then I don't know, that's a drawing, isn't it? Chopping more guys in half, we like that. We like that a lot. Quite cool, like blood effects. I think, like I said before, not the best blood effects, but they're pretty cool. Like thick black sludge, almost looking stuff. And I like that their bodies have like spun as he's cut them off. They've not just gone like, oh no. The top halves have gone like, boosh, and I can't make my hand like spin like that, but it's good. That's cool that they've gone pew. Blah, intestines and shit. chopping up motherfuckers, yeah. Choo choo choo. Bleh. Yeah, it's alright. I don't hate it. I'm not in love with it. As said and said and said again, maybe book one isn't going to have the greatest, best art. It's got some really cool artwork, some very impressive artwork in it. I'm always amazed with manga. I'm always amazed with just the amount of drawing involved. Even because this is book one of like a gajillion. And even in this book, it's like every page has so much drawing on it. And there's so many fucking pages. And there's so much drawing involved. And I know they have assistants and shit to do like some of the heavy lifting. Or whatever. That's cool. But, fucking, yeah. I was, people told me look at it. I looked at it. Now fucking shut up and leave me alone. So in Death Fist, there's this bit. A couple of people have been like, what? Oh my god, no way. I can't believe there's a thing. He did the thing. Which I was... So there's this bit where he's got the guy, and then he tells himself breathe, and then he breathes, and then he falls backwards into this like puddle, and then like comes up out of another puddle here behind the guy, and he comes out, and then he fucking decks him in the back of the head. Fuck, take that, you shit. And I was tempted to, and I still might add it in. I'm not sure exactly if it'll be too goofy for the tone of the book. It's kind of of a goofy comic anyway, but to have like some narration boxes of him saying something along the lines of, well, you see him fall back into the puddle and come out of another one, and then have like a little text box saying, oh yeah, and I can do that too, just to be like, oh yeah, by the way, I can do this. And he falls into the ground, he comes up in another point in the ground, and then a couple of people were like, what, he can teleport? What the fuck is that? But like in a good way, not like he can teleport. Why can he teleport all of a sudden? Because he's a being from hell. He can do what he wants. But going with that, so I had an idea to do. I thought maybe I could do it as like a mini zine, like literally like an 8-page zine, maybe 8 pages, maybe even 6. A smaller scale, like not quite A5, but like almost a bit more of a box shape, almost square, but like a different shaped thing, just like a little black and white little zine. And then I thought I could make it as a zine, but also include it printed in the final book, like towards the back. And that final little mini zine book would be titled "What Happens When Death Fist Teleports," because I devised a how it happens, and how it happens is that's him falling down into hell, and then he travels through hell, through these various points, and I don't even know, just different areas of the underworld, through hell, fire, rock, brimstone, demons and devils and rivers of blood and all kinds of things, and then he crops back up. But obviously in hell time works differently, so a second on Earth, a few seconds on Earth is the equivalent to like days and days, if not years, in hell. So for him, that's why he doesn't teleport all the time, because for him to teleport for a couple of seconds away, he has to travel through the entirety of the underworld. But that's the dedication he has to his job. He's like, okay, maybe there's other ways around this current incident, but like he's got a kid with a knife to his throat and he's gonna kill the kid, and I have to stop him. What the fuck am I to do? And he knows, right, he's got to go down traverse the underworld through its ups and downs and hills and rivers and gorges, and then pop back up. Eventually, find a point where he can pop back up, and that will be here in the above world, and it will only take a couple of seconds in real time, and then the thing. So I did a couple of little drawings. I don't know how clear they are. I've got the map, so this is a few different pages, and I want it to be like where you could lay all the pages out and view it as one long thing. But they work as individual pages. So this is 3. Again, I'm not sure how clear it is. How it's 1 page, 2 pages, 3 pages. And this is super rough. Even in terms of concept, this is rough. But you can see. So I'll draw. Each page will be like an environment in hell, and then several drawings of Deathfist like traversing that environment. And here he's climbing up this like rock thing and then jumping off onto this rock thing. So you can see him like jump up to grab the ledge, and then he's climbing this bit. He's climbing up to here, and he jumps off. And he's also in the background running along this ledge. Who knows where he is and what he's doing? And there's spikes. There's which ones are the stalactites and stalagmites? Stalactites are the ones coming down, stalagmites are the ones going up. And there's like a person skewered on that one, and there's souls, bodies falling down into hell. So that's the middle one. But then, so here there's like a rock, almost like a jump. There's 2 rock bits here, and underneath or in between that jump there's a big monster eating souls of the damned. This is like a big demon monster, and he's like picking up all these souls burning around him, and he's picking them up and throwing them in his mouth. And there's like some harpy demons flying in the background, and Deathfist like runs and jumps over the thing, down, jumps onto the ledge, climbs up, and then jumps down onto here. And then here it's like a ring of fire sort of thing that he jumps through here, and then he lands on this bit of rock here. And again, in the fire, there's souls of the damned screaming in agony. And at one point, I think I want to have him sort of like creep past the Titan. So this is an arm with a hammer in it. I'm only really highlighting this because I'm not sure how clear my doodles are. I fear they might not be as clear as I think they are. It's an arm and fingers and a big hammer. I'm stealing, and that's what I thought I might just do, is I'm stealing ideas from Mike Mignola, and this is like a devil with horns in his eye and his nose. A big Titan and his other hand here. He's about to like smash souls on an anvil or whatever. Completely stolen from Mike Mignola, and I thought I might do that, just basically go through the book of Hellboy in Hell and just steal ideas, draw them with loads of cross-hatching so it looks like it's my style, and pass it off as my own work. Because, that's what people do, it's fine. It's good enough for AI, it's good enough for me. But there he is, like, sort of I don't know, like creeping sideways along the wall underneath where this Titan is working. Because I want some kind of giant Titan, a colossal hell demon in hell. And this is a separate idea. So this one is straight copied from Mignola. This is a different idea, which is a little bit more my own, I think. I probably stole it from somewhere. But it's a big demon. He's got one arm up here, with his fingers resting on the rocks. And then this is his demon head and his demon grin, his eyes and horns, his ears, and a little guy in his mouth, and his other arm down here, because what he's doing is this is a river, he's scooping up souls, bodies out of a river of damned souls. So there are all these people with their little heads and their arms raised up going, help me, help me. He's got wings as well, and so this big demon is like scooping bodies out. He's got a handful of damned souls or whatever in his hand, his claw, and he's scooping them up and eating them. And then Deathfist's running underneath, so he's running past him here and then underneath his arm here. And then like a close-up shot of him just like running, because he's getting through hell. He's running his way through hell. That's all I've done for that. But I thought that was a neat little concept. So that's what, 6 pages. I could do like, so then 1 page of him like going down into hell, and then maybe 6 or 8 pages of him running. Like, and this I'd use probably this one, and then make up something else with here. And then him running through hell. Obviously, this is the first ideas I've had. There'll be many more to come. Well, maybe not. Maybe there literally won't be. I do want to focus on getting the actual book done rather than this little side project. But I want to have, I've got the idea visualised, so I got down some notes and things to sort of help that along, as it were. I think that could be really good. Quite a neat little, mini little thing, travelling through hell. And I think that's what I was saying, looking through Berserk at demons and monsters and stuff, is because I don't want to have it all just be barren rocks and fire. I want to fill it with loads of little monsters and demons running about, prodding people with sticks and stuff. In the main book there will be a good few pages of depictions of hell, so there will be some time for that in there, but outside of that, and this can be a little bit goofy, not too silly, but big fat funny demons eating people. It's quite fun. Yeah, it's a bit of fun, isn't it? It's a bit of a laugh, just having a bit of fun. I don't have much else to. That was about it. I thought I could sit and draw some Death Fist, but I don't really. I don't know. I coloured in that Max. Oh, it's Bulbasaur. Did you see my? Yeah, you probably saw my. I don't know. Some people aren't on Instagram. I find that strange. That sometimes people only know me through YouTube and they don't necessarily use or follow me on Instagram. Ewanagain, ewanagain on Instagram, by the way, if you're not already there. If you didn't, I drew a Bulbasaur. There's some rough Bulbasaur drawings, and then I drew Bulbasaur. But then there's a rough one, and then I drew Venusaur also. No, I didn't. I drew Ivysaur also. I will be drawing Venusaur. I'll be doing I got it into my head that wouldn't it be cool to draw all the first 151 Pokemon? Wouldn't that be a good idea? Wouldn't that be bloody brilliant? Let's do that. What could go wrong? Which I might do. But it's one of those things that if enough people, I hate having to make it about this, but if enough people buy the drawings as and when I make them, then I could definitely afford to sit and draw all the Pokemon. But if I only sell a couple, then I can't necessarily afford to sit and draw 100, because I want to draw them well. I'm really happy. I was really happy with the Bulbasaur, but then I'm really happy with the Ivysaur, and I do want to draw them well. I want them to look good. But that takes more time to make them look good. So if I know my bills are paid, then I know I've got time to sit and fucking draw some cool shit. Which is life for artists in general, really, isn't it? If they can afford to pay their bills, then they can hopefully have time to make some cool fucking artwork. Which is why you should fund artists and you should give them all your money so they can make cool shit for you to look at. You sit there on Instagram going, oh, this is my favourite artist, I love their artwork so much, it brings me so much joy. Every time they upload something new, I look forward to it. I can't wait to see what they create. And I know, as I say, I hate making it about money because I hate money. I don't want money. But it's sadly necessary. And I'm aware that people can't necessarily afford to just give money to artists just because they like their drawings. But if you are in a position where you're able to, you should absolutely do that. Because then that artist that you like can afford to make more work. I try to do it when I can, give money to artists I like, friends and whatever, but there are those times where I can just about afford to feed myself, and sadly it's not always a brilliant smart investment for me to give my money to other people when I have to fucking eat. I hate it. I fucking hate it so much. It's literally the worst thing to ever happen. is money. The idea of fucking money. It's the dumbest, worst fucking idea ever, and I hate that it's so fucking predominant in life at all. But now my artwork, it's cool that I'm lucky, I'm very fortunate that I get to make a living so far off of my art. It's looking a little bit dicey at the moment, but we'll see how it goes. But then tying my art into solely making money is really, really frustrating. And I don't want to sound like a prick. I can't think of the word. I don't know. You all know what I'm saying. I'm just, I just want to draw cool shit. That's literally all I ever want to do. And I'm very, very grateful to everyone who's signed up to Patreon or who's ever bought anything, even if it's just a sticker. If you've bought a sticker or a print or anything from me, I'm so hugely grateful for that. Because you are helping me make more cool shit. I didn't even want to talk about... Fuck it, let's record a podcast. What should we... I'll talk about money. Oh, fucking brilliant. Bloody great. Let's talk about fucking stupid, cunting fuck money. I don't even know where this pen came from. What is it? A clip click ink. Fuck is that? Is it blue? Is it turquoise? It's like a turquoisean blue. Should we draw Death Fist? I don't know. I don't fucking know what I'm doing. See, because I doodled these out before recording. I didn't think to... I thought, I'll draw a Death Fist or something while I record and then just talk about shit, whatever. I didn't think to draw out a Death Fist, pose. So now I've got to fucking come up with something. Which isn't necessarily going to be good at all. This is just Death Fist's face, and that's just fucking... I'm trying to think, what Death Fist poses are there coming up in the comic, and I can, do a practice run of one of those drawings of Death Fist's face that's coming up in the comic. But suddenly I can't think of what's coming up in the comic. I can turn my head 100 degrees and look at my list. Tussle, knife, goomph, pull back, punch. That's a good one. Yeah, there's going to be the death punch, the Death Fist punch, where he does punch the bad guy into hell, because that's got to happen at least once in the comic, hasn't it? That's if that would be, you'd be blue balls otherwise, wouldn't it? The whole point of Death Fist as a character is that he has this giant fist and he uses it to punch people down into hell, and then there's a whole comic book of him being the guy, and then he never actually does that one thing that he's meant to do. That would be comic book blue balls, I guess. But there is going to be a scene where he punches the guy, and what's that going to look like? I guess I don't want to use the only pose in my head is basically... Do I have the thing? Oh, I do have the thing. This is the only pose that's in my head currently, where he's jumping but punching downwards from this kind of angle. So I want to avoid that, so I'm not just repeating that angle, but I don't know what else to do. I'll do it from the other side, I guess. His head's here. I think I could get away with just drawing the one leg and then his poncho. I think that might work. And then, but it gets difficult because you sit here thinking like, oh yeah, just draw his poncho flying out. But then you realise if this arm is up, his poncho then has to be like anchored to his arm here. So it would then be like here and then flow over this other side of his arm and outwards, kind of. Which is one of the reasons I was having so much trouble, like, drawing his fucking poncho. That kind of sort of works. Oh, that's a tiny little pen. Where's my brush pen? His hood. His gloved hand here. More crease. I like drawing these like bunched creases of his poncho. They're sort of like bunch up and then fan out. Those are quite fun to draw. And then his arm coming down, punching into the ground. One of his legs here. Poncho there. And then where would the other bit of his poncho be? So I've got it sort of like here. So there's a gap and then it starts flowing out again. I don't know how accurate or visually good that is. Yeah, I'm not entirely happy with that one. It's not great. Needs some work. How else could it go? Also, that's like, it's going to be in the entirety of the book, which will be between 60 to maybe 70, maybe towards 80 pages, likely around 65 pages ish. This is going to be the one actual big death fist punching a guy into hell, so it needs to have some kind of impact. It will be a full page thing, no other panels above or below it, but it needs to be clear that he is punching the guy. Maybe his hand here, and I'm quite happy with that as well. In my design for Valentino, I've given him like black leather cuffs, so if I draw his arm, you'll certainly know it's his arm. It won't just be like a random thing or a random person's arm. I could draw like his knife flying out because he's got quite a distinctive, that's typical flick knife, but no one else in the comic has one, so it is distinctive in that he's the guy with the flick knife. I could draw that flying out his hand. There's a couple of things I could do, maybe his leg with his Converse knockoffs poking out. But then if I draw like that, his arms and legs coming out, it's a little bit cartoony, but the whole comic book's kind of cartoony, and you will see later on it's a comic book within a comic book. Death Fist is basically a comic book within a comic book, so not to spoil anything, but yeah, this scene needs to have some impact to it, and I don't want it. I'm not that happy with this. It's too like, what have I just drawn? I've just drawn this basically. That's a penis. I've just drawn a penis, big hole here, and his fist is the testicles. That's basically what I've just drawn, is that. So I need to change that, to say the least. Right, let's visualise it how I visualised this the other week. What's in my head? Page, and then what am I seeing on the page? Right, I'm closing my eyes right now as I'm talking to you. What do I visualise? It's moving, it's spinning around, it's coming from several different angles. The ground's breaking. There's his fist. I almost want to draw it as two images. one where he's fucking punching the guy, and the other one where he's like in the ground. I think that angle that I had in here is almost the best one to use. I really like this drawing. I think it's a really fun drawing. And again, he's got the legs and arms coming up. It's kind of cartoony, but it works for the thing. And like, so I don't know if you caught me saying. So the pages before that, there's, let's say, 3 pages. This page is him. On my notes, I've got it pull back. I was going to write pull back. That doesn't make sense. And then, I know it's only 2 pages. Okay, and then punch. So maybe I could extend it. Maybe I could stick another page in there. Oh no, maybe not, because of the next few pages will be the guy's descent into hell, and I want that to be 2 double page spreads. So I need to be careful with page numbers before that. But there is, I guess, in the pull back page, I could have him. It's literally going to be like his face here, maybe his forearm here, and then his fist in the background as he's pulling back, and then like an insert panel of Valentino's face just being like, "Oh no!" And then the punch is going to be the death fist punch. Angry death fist face, big fist, punching into the ground. And I think his body needs to be off the ground to show like the full impact of the punch. Maybe I'll have to look through How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way. It's right here. And see if there's any dynamic poses I can steal from that. Little head here, little angry death fist face, big fucking fist. I keep drawing this. That's all I'm doing is repeating myself. I draw it from the other angle. Literally drawing the same shape again and again. I don't even know how to remedy that, because it kind of is necessary, isn't it? You've got the floor here, even if it's like drawn perspective. This is where the impact is happening. It's fisting the guy into the hell. Maybe I could do it even more zoomed in, where I just draw like his big angry face and the fucking fist, and then just a bunch of black lines to imply the poncho and everything. I don't know. I'll work on it and I'll get back to you. Yeah.